LP luck turns right now. How to use luck. Run! Hello everyone and welcome back to the I'm gonna watch it time speed. LP group admin. Hello? Walls. Spruce. Planks. There. No way this guy's just going with it. Run! Oh my god! Oh my god.
Considering uni? Choose QUT for practical learning to gain real-world skills.
Oh my god. No! Alright, well I guess I didn't get off. Steel Horizons up to. How's your thing going? I am off, and like, I tried, you asked me to do like luck perf stuff, so I googled it, but then he did it.
Let's pause it. Head home. Head to bed. Wake up. Head to school, yo. Another day of high school. In Los Santos. LS. Shit. Five in the morning. Head to school. Another day of high school. Today's my 5th day at the high school. Shit.
All himself. So I helped make like this box.
I had one of my friends.
Sure. Alright, what's the IP? What's the IP?
Alright,
Work on ranks while everyone is building K. Oh no, you have to
Have another joint.
I am here to help with building.
Let's have a joint for today.
No. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, they're gonna think I did that. I was testing the spawn point. No way, he's not gonna ban me. Should I set the spruce wood to TNT and then slash undo for like a second? 50 spruce planks, TNT. Just gonna do like a bunch of random stuff like VIP, MVP, MVP plus, MVP plus plus. 3. What? Hey. They just like, I want to just ban him because he's going in console like right now. And slash, I'm just gonna do slash stop. What? I'm not as good as a dev as I thought I was. I'm just gonna leave. Sorry for that. Join lab trials. This is like the Roblox thing. It's starting. Got this. Oh, we're right next to each other. Okay. Oh, it's Rise Lava. It's Rise Lava. Maybe you toss the boat over. Oh, you're trying to like boat clutch, like place it low and then get it down. Get it?
Shit.
Oh Oh, I did it! Wait. How have to I get out there?
Wait, can you...
This is so dumb.
No! Can you stand here?
I better slow down. Wait, I got him. Oh my god, I did it!
Okay, wait, can you stand on that? Can you get up there?
Take the book, grab the book.
No! That was really stupid, but if you want to see more joining random servers, then subscribe, I guess.
What else should I watch?
Let's face it, anarchy servers like DB2T aren't really that hard. If anything, it's probably easier than vanilla survival with all the duped items along with a plethora of hacks at your disposal, and even highly advanced artificial intelligence like Baritone that can literally escape spawn for you automatically. But wait, what if you just had one shot to survive? What if you couldn't rely on hacks and cheats to do everything in fear of a collision leading to death? What kind of chaos would ensue? Would organization and group efforts happen? Will there even be anything interesting as players cower in fear? Will the server even stay alive with players constantly dying? That's what Horizon Anarchy is here to answer. I'll be walking you through some of the amazing things that truly talented players have done with just a single life in a hellscape with no rules. Welcome to Horizon Anarchy, the anarchy server with the most bans. I want to quickly thank sponsors for sponsoring this video. Became a YouTuber and found myself in the perfect opportunity to try something like this, as I can keep the server IP on my channel page for a content flow of Unfortunately, the random server host I was using at the time really couldn't handle the amount of players joining in, and the TPS tipped quickly. And as the TPS lowered, players began hiding underground and in walls as they couldn't risk death. The TPS just kept lowering as I was running on the latest versions of Minecraft, which are far more strenuous on the CPU. But as players became more and more stacked and powerful, it wasn't long until they began fighting each other. But despite the low TPS and the hardcore nature, it wasn't long until friendships emerged too. Struggled to survive as the TPS was dipping to nearly unplayable levels. But some succeeded, grinding enchanted diamond gear and bypassing a horrible anti-cheat which also made players stuck. While working on fixing the anti-cheat, we opened up a Discord server for players to get teleported out by admins, as we couldn't kill them due to it being hardcore. While looking for someone to help, I found this guy stuck in the ground, and when I was about to teleport him out, another player just came and saved him, which was quite surprising on this server. In fact, the player that he saved, who's known as Lightning Bulb, was actually on his way to be the first one to get the Ender Dragon. The race to the Ender Dragon. Lightning Bulb was determined to get the Dragon Egg first and posted his entire journey on YouTube. He gathered some gear, found a stronghold, and entered it. Unfortunately, the dragon knocked him off and he died. But soon enough, the player that saved him, who's known as Phosphorite, went ahead and got the Dragon Egg first, making him the unofficial king of the server. Soon after, he fought the Wither, making him the first person to get the Dragon Egg and the Nether Star. He even fought the Wither with the Dragon Egg in his inventory. Spawn lava casts. In less than a day, players built lava casts at spawn. Lava casting, at least this early in the server's existence, is one of the most dangerous things you can do, as you're just one miss away from falling into the lava you placed or falling off the cast. What's interesting is that these two players were lava casting right next to each other. This was very dangerous, but they probably didn't attack each other because they wanted to stay peaceful and not start conflict. Now the server began looking more like a true hellscape. The Invisible Sign Valley. A player by the name of Drinking Carrots really wanted to plug his YouTube channel, so badly so that he placed an entire valley of signs at spawn with nothing more than simple and basic iron armor. He placed a lot of signs, but unfortunately the sign valley was way too laggy on the FPS, getting me lower than 30 FPS most of the time, so I had to remove it, as with a vanilla client the lag would be absolutely unbearable. I first decided to try a world edit, but for some reason, it just didn't work. I tried a lot of things, but then decided to remove it and add it back because I was just lost. But then the signs became invisible. I don't know how it happened or even how to reverse it, nor did I properly know how to remove signs with world edit, so there just wasn't much I could do. The lag was gone anyways, so I guess I completed my job and decided to silently move away. Still, it's a mystery to me why these signs became invisible. It's probably a world edit bug, but I'll just let this video be my bug report. The Spawn Cafe. Carrots was upset about his channel plug being removed, so he decided to build a sign plugging his YouTube channel out of wood at the center of the world, and he even built a cafe right underneath it for players to stop by and meet each other. But as cool as it was made out of wood, which was very easy to grief, so as fast as it came, it disappeared. But the Spawn Cafe truly never died. Players kept constantly rebuilding out of new materials, at least for quite a while. The Spawn Cafe was first rebuilt by John Car 66, which was now made of cobblestone instead, but it still kept its general shape. It was the same as the old cafe, but patched up. But obviously with some TNT, it wouldn't last for long. So the Spawn Cafe was rebuilt yet again with a greater variety of materials. They even had an elytra departure area. But it was still quite easy to get blown up though. So now it has been rebuilt yet again, but out of obsidian. This time it was much harder to grief and was now a significant Nether Portal hub for players to go to. Although this lasted for much longer, it was so often renovated by the player base. Like for example, they added trees here. And they even built a sign wall for passerbys to place their names. What surprises me is how it hasn't been griefed yet. Another player expanded the Spawn Cafe by adding multiple Nether Portal layers. They even created this insane elytra stunt course. I also decided to try it out myself. Unfortunately, time caught up with the Spawn Cafe. As of the present day, the Spawn Cafe is now entirely gone and now replaced by this lava cast. But there are still many more impressive things on this server. The Nether infrastructure. Originally, we decided to keep the Nether roof enabled. I thought it would be vanilla as I wanted to keep the server as vanilla as possible, but that was definitely a huge mistake. Some players have traveled so far, our server host could literally not hold any more storage, despite telling us that we had unlimited storage, which is insane. But unfortunately, we had to disable the Nether roof. Now without the Nether roof, it was now much harder to travel to bases and advance to different locations. As travel became very difficult, players knew they had to build highway systems to move around. At the start, the Nether hub was small and
Which have never joined.
since you could travel on the Nether roof, there really wasn't much of a reason to spend so much time making one. Once the Nether roof was disabled, players instantly began expanding the Nether hub, which allowed easy access around the spawn region, and then lined it with obsidian. Nether highways became longer and longer as players worked together to build them. They provided a reliable and easy method of transportation for the player base to use, as having a flat path allowed players to AFK and not have to travel directly through the Nether, which risked falling into a lava pocket or getting blasted off by a ghast. The Spawn Melon Ring. The Melon Ring is a massive circle surrounding Spawn that has a radius of over 1,000 blocks, which was constructed by John Car 66. John Car 66 wanted to help new players and knew food was a good way to help.
so making a farm would be good. John Carr wanted to make a melon farm because it didn't need to be replanted, allowing it to last longer. She needed to place it somewhere but couldn't place it at the center of the world because it would way too easily be griefed. She was thinking of putting it 1,000 blocks out but didn't know what direction to put it in. So instead, she chose all directions. This melon ring consists of farmland, dirt, and obsidian, put together like a sandwich with melons implanted over it. The melon ring was made entirely by hand, no hacks, no nothing, and she used an online pixel circle generator as reference. And she even carved through the terrain for the ring road. It is truly incredible. All of this was done so close to spawn without dying once. A feat of this magnitude is absolutely insane, as not only would it be impressive on normal survival with dupes and also auto-build hacks where you could respawn, but on a hardcore Minecraft server without any publicly known dupes or automatic building hacks. But before we move on, I want to thank SparkToast for sponsoring this video. There are seemingly endless server host options out there, so finding an affordable and quality scheduling and a beautiful 50% off your first billing cycle, or click the link in the description. And if you're still skeptical, they offer free trials so you can try it out yourself before you buy it. You can check it out by going to sparktoast.com. Thank you, SparkToast, and now on with the video. The journey to the world border. Around launch day, a player known as Zoki04 wanted to reach the world border and had a few options to do so. Every block in the Nether is 8 blocks in the overworld, so it's much faster in the Nether, as instead of having to travel 30 million blocks in the overworld, you can travel just 3.75 million in the Nether, which although is still a lot, is a far more reasonable amount. But there's just too much stuff in the way of the Nether for that to work, especially so far. But above the Nether is a roof, which is perfectly flat that can easily be entered with just a ladder and some ender pearls. You move around 4.3 blocks a second when walking, which will take 10 days in total, but is just too slow. Sprint jumping is much faster at 7.1 and only takes 6 days but takes up too much food. But horses can travel about 9 blocks a second on average, with some horses going up to 14 blocks a second, taking just 3 days to travel. Just note that all these numbers are if the conditions are perfect and will likely take longer. So an ambitious Soki04 took it upon himself to travel to the world border. He grabbed a horse and near launch, he headed to the Nether roof and then turned on an auto walk hack to reach the world border automatically. And as the days went by, he finally reached the milestone and recorded it.
This is it. Holy how long has this taken you?
For an entire week of just non-stop AFK.
Has it just been like AFK since it started?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. It's happening.
We're at a ball. Like, there it is. Oh
Wow.
my god. And there's a holy yes, I've touched the world border.
To this day, he is the only player who has touched the world border. And that's because we realized how much storage that journey took, which was over 200 gigabytes. We kept it enabled because our server host told us that we had unlimited storage, yet Zoki broke their physical capabilities. Godspeed to you, dude. But whatever the case was, we had to disable the Nether roof so the server didn't die from a lack of storage.
This is not a cat. It's a catchy looping hook.
The
Fuck
end.
off.
The end originally was a mining zone for players to use. It was plastered in giant holes and was used to mine vast amounts of resources like obsidian, which is much easier to access at spawn. And an enderman farm about 200 blocks away from the end spawn was also built to provide players with ender pearls. In general, the end was a dangerous place because of the hardcore nature and the amount of players lurking near it. But soon enough, players wanted to make something cool. So at the center of spawn, an arena was built out of crying obsidian, and end stone bricks, which laid down right below the Ender Portal.
Unfortunately, building a piece of infrastructure on a server without rules that was so easy to grief was hard, so they took a page from 2b2t and set out to build a massive water cube above it to stop lava casts. To build a water cube, you need to start off by building large walls to contain the water, and then place ice over that water and then break it. Place dirt at the bottom of the water tank and then plant kelp. Once the kelp is planted, wait for it to grow to the top or manually place it. Kelp turns flowing water blocks into source blocks. Get rid of the kelp, then break the walls in the kelp and you have a completely solid water cube. We started off by building a mini water cube, but decided to make it bigger and outlined it, and then filled that bigger outline with water, growing it with kelp. Once they were done, they destroyed the sand and placed sponges on the edges to make it more square. They finally rebuilt the spawn arena underneath it, and built a network of tunnels to make travel easy too. This giant water cube engulfed spawn and took the work of many, many players. It was also used as a fishing spot because why not? The dupe glitch. Okay, there weren't technically any dupes. However, Phosphorite accidentally duped the Dragon Egg. Okay, let me explain. So we created our own custom-made deathban plugin, which when you died, they would immediately get banned and then drop your inventory. But there was a major problem. You kept the items in your inventory when you got banned. That meant that even though you dropped your inventory, it was still technically in the inventory of your player data. Although we did find this bug in testing, we really didn't think it mattered, because the plan was to clear everyone's inventory if we ever did a mass unban wave. So we kind of forgot about it. But it came to bite us in the back later on. Phosphorite fell victim to a server glitch which made the server think that he died from fall damage. After analyzing the logs, we discovered it was a glitch and unbanned him, since it wouldn't be too fair to ban a player who actually didn't die. He happened to be with his friend Do, who picked up his stuff to stop it from despawning. You get where this is going. When he respawned, he had the Dragon Egg in his inventory, and his friend had it too. They duped the Dragon Egg by accident, and now there were 2 Dragon Eggs in existence. Whoops. As the news of this dupe spread, 2 players decided to try it out themselves. They purposely ran into unloaded chunks, which was known to kill you as a glitch. Yeah, they were successful. We didn't actually know about it until recently when we asked some of the players for screenshots and whatnot. So yeah, although there weren't any actual efficient dupes that could be used, this was still technically a dupe. P.S. Don't try this, we fixed it.
It's an anarchy server. You're supposed to do whatever the fuck you want.
Base griefs. On anarchy servers, there is no objective, but many players choose to build bases. These bases need to be built far out from spawn to avoid them from getting found out, though. And on a hardcore Minecraft server where every resource matters for survival, a base grief can be quite devastating. Unlike any anarchy server, many bases have been griefed. If you remember Phosphorite from earlier, he made the mistake of letting in a traitor to his base who silently leaked his coordinates on an alt. These coordinates were then visited by some players who went ahead and griefed his base. Here are a few more public griefs. This base was owned by Practical Eevee, Tormor, and Xenonaut. Here was a little shack that was griefed. This was apparently a recruitment base from a group called Sumnoa.
Let's have another joint.
There was also this strange ring-like base that was griefed too. Here are some screenshots of the grief. There are most likely many, many more, but these are just the ones that have been publicly shared, as I did not want to leak private affairs between players. The goal of this experiment was to see who could prevail on a server where death is not an option, and wanted to see who could truly break through the herd. So we have listed 8 different players who are each incredibly skilled in their own right. Out of the 14,000 players who joined the server, and the many who got banned and died, these are the top players. Tyra Vex and Tehrion, who both gathered nearly a stack of enchanted golden apples. These are incredibly rare and cannot be crafted on the server's version either. Gridlock, who helped with the Nether spawn and the highway system. Unfortunately, that was all I could reasonably cover on YouTube. There are so many more amazing things on this server that I just couldn't cover, either for not being YouTube friendly, that part, being private projects that I didn't want leaked, and such. But whatever is left.
What else should I watch? What else should I fucking watch on YouTube?
ep10 is Minecraft's oldest anarchy server. It's been going on for over 10 years. And basically an anarchy server is a server with no rules whatsoever. So everybody on this server hacks and cheats. And this server is known to have one of the most toxic communities in Minecraft. And they all have one thing in common, and that's that they hate new players. And they all try their best to keep new players off. So this server spawn is completely destroyed and almost impossible to get out of. So I decided to join this server with the goal of escaping spawn and mining 1 diamond. So when I logged on to 2b2t, I was greeted with a completely blank screen and a wait queue of 5 hours and 18 minutes. So after hours of waiting in the queue, I was finally able to log on to the server, and I was greeted with a destroyed spawn. And the one recommendation I was told is to not go to any nether portals in spawn. So I found the closest nether portal I could and made my first mistake. This nether portal was a trap for new players on the server, and basically when you hopped in, it would make you stuck in it with no way out. And these were targeted to the new players of the server, so they would log out. And after feeling defeated for a little bit and almost giving up, the portal teleported me back to the overworld. overworld, so I got a second chance at life. I continued to adventure around, and then I ran into this giant wall of water that spanned all across spawn, and when I got closer, I found out that it wasn't just one wall. It was an entire ocean that was placed, spanning hundreds of blocks wide, and on 2b2t, it's on Minecraft 1.12, so that means swimming isn't enabled yet. So that meant it was impossible to go through this ocean. So I jumped back down trying to find another way out of spawn. And after doing some parkour, I started to have a good feeling about this. It felt like I was getting closer and closer to victory. And then I died. I slipped and fell. So attempt number 2, I was feeling good. I had a lot of experience and I knew what I was doing. I knew not to mess with any portals and to be careful of where I jumped. I knew it was only a matter of time until I escaped spawn and became the king of 2b2t. And while I was doing my epic parkour to escape spawn, victory was getting near, and then I slipped and died for the second time. So attempt number 3, this was the one that I was going to escape spawn and make it out. So I ventured far out to try and find a nether portal far away from spawn, because every block you travel in the nether is considered 8 blocks in the overworld. And then I found a pretty hidden nether portal, and it looked weirdly glitched, only half of it was lit up. So I thought that this portal would be safe, and when I went through it, it turned out to be one of the trap portals, but one of the blocks were broken, so I was able to escape. And these portals were in the middle of a highway, and I found another person trapped inside the portal trap, so I decided to help him out by punching him to death. So I headed down a path, and there were so many trap portal stations. And at this point, my only goal was to preserve my hunger as much as possible while going down this nether highway, because I knew my main problem would be conserving my hunger. So I decided just to sprint without jumping. And my goal was to make it to the coordinates 1000, 1000, and then find another portal. But my hunger was dropping quickly, and I had no idea if I was gonna make it, so I panicked and sprint jumped, which wasn't the right play to do because this burned my hunger